this leads into number 5, which they kind of all go together, don't they? Which is self-awareness can be really, really painful. And, when we start to become aware of how our story starts to frame our life, uh, and we become aware of it. So, in other words, we look at it and we go, holy cow, it can be a pretty painful process. And, it can be sometimes cringeworthy, and it starts to reveal how some of your actions have really harmed you and those around you generally, because you're not in it alone. So when we look at the journey of self discovery, it really isn't for the faint of heart. We say that often. It demands some humility and lots of self compassion and really the willingness to acknowledge our past mistakes. And when we say mistakes, excuse me, when we say mistakes, we're really saying they're lessons that we got. Did we learn them? And can we accept them as lessons so that we don't repeat them? And there is the universe that there is the I remember my friend told me, he goes, don't worry if you don't hear the universe when it whispers, because it will turn up the volume. And of course, we joke about that because sometimes the last thing you need is the universe to turn up the volume so that you get the lesson. And ultimately, we have to learn these lessons, and sometimes it takes a little bit of work to learn the lessons. And so I think we have to consider the fact that self-awareness can be very painful.
It can, and one of the lines that I really love, and it means a lot to me, is that when I know better, I do better. When I know more, I do better.
Mhm.
Because we're all on a journey. And back in the day, maybe I didn't know certain things, or maybe, you weren't raised in a family or in a culture that is allowing of certain things today. But when you know more and you know better, you do better. And
Yeah.
I think if we forget that and we don't embrace curiosity and willingness to get it right rather than fucking be right, you know?
Mhm.
We have to take a look at ourselves and we have to reframe, we have to reshape, we have to understand and give ourselves room and grace to have
Mhm.
messed up and to made mistakes in the past. And unfortunately, we've got people with fine-tooth combs that are going to find what we did and how we screwed up. Honest to God, the world that I'm in the world of sport and performance, if there's people going to look for things and shit that I've done in the past, they're probably going to find it. Maybe I
Mhm.
was mean to somebody or I said something rude or I told someone to fuck off. Like, and they were offended by that. Now, being offended in the past 10 years ago could create a lawsuit today. So
Mhm.
I just want to invite people to look at where you're at in these 5 steps. Where you're at in, oh my gosh, do you believe that everything's happened to you for your highest good? But here's the other thing, but also for others.
Mhm.
For my highest good and also for yours. And if I make those decisions, then honestly, the rest is up to the universe to decide.